Hello, Turbo Girl. We are going to learn about conjunctions for this lesson. When we need to join two things together, we use glue. In English, when we need to join ideas or sentences together, we need to use glue too. But we do not use this type of glue. Instead, we use conjunctions. Let's call conjunctions linking words. For today's lesson, we will be learning 5 types of linking words that are used to join two sentences with different ideas to show contrast. To show contrast means to show differences. The linking words are but, although, even though, and yet. These linking words help to contrast two different ideas. Look at these two sentences in one. It was very dark. Leo was not afraid. After a sentence like, it was very dark, we usually expect the next sentence to tell us that someone was afraid. However, in this example, the second sentence tells us that Leo was not afraid. So, the second sentence is actually telling us something that is different from what we expect to hear. To show this contrast, we can use linking words such as but, although, even though, and yet. Let's now learn how to join these two sentences using different linking words. Let's look at the glue word but. We need 2 steps to join the sentences. Step 1. Put the linking word but in between the two sentences. Step 2. Remove the full stop at the end of the first sentence. So we have 1a. It was very dark, but Leo was not afraid. If the first clause is very long, we need to add a comma in between the first and the second clause. For example, it was very dark and the wolves were howling in the distance, comma, but Leo was not afraid. If the first clause is not very long, like in 1a, then we can either add the comma or leave it out. So, both these sentences are correct. 1a. It was very dark, but Leo was not afraid. It was very dark, comma, but Leo was not afraid. To emphasize the difference or contrast, we can use the linking word yet instead of but. 1b. It was very dark, yet Leo was not afraid. Let's now look at the linking words although, though, and even though. We can join the sentences in the following way. 1c. Leo was not afraid although it was very dark. 1d. Leo was not afraid though it was very dark. If we want to emphasize the contrast, we can use the linking word even though. 1e. Leo was not afraid even though it was very dark. When we use the 3 linking words although, though, and even though, we can move these linking words and the sentence after these linking words to the beginning of the sentence. For example, 1c. In the sentence, Leo was not afraid although it was very dark, we can move the clause although it was very dark to the beginning of the sentence to form although it was very dark, comma, Leo was not afraid. Examples of the use of though and even though at the beginning of the sentence are 1d. Though it was very dark, comma, Leo was not afraid. 1e. Even though it was very dark, comma, Leo was not afraid. When we move the clause to the beginning of the sentence, we must remember to add a comma in between the two clauses.
Teacher, I often hear my friends saying, although it was very dark, but Leo was not afraid. Is the sentence correct?
That sentence is not correct, Turbo Girl. One linking word in a sentence is enough, so we use either although or but in one sentence. So we can say, although it was very dark, Leo was not afraid. Or, it was very dark, but Leo was not afraid. We cannot use both the linking words, although and but, in one sentence. Do you understand today's lesson, Turbo Girl?
Okay, I get it. We learned 5 types of linking words that we can use to join 2 different ideas. The linking words are but, although, even though, and yet. To join 2 sentences such as it was very dark, Leo was not afraid, we need only 2 steps. Step 1. Put the linking word but in between the 2 sentences. Step 2. Remove the full stop at the end of the first sentence. So we have, it was very dark, but Leo was not afraid. If we use the linking words although and though, we have the following sentences. Leo was not afraid although it was very dark. Leo was not afraid though it was very dark. To emphasize the difference or contrast, we can use the linking words even though or yet. Leo was not afraid even though it was very dark. It was very dark, yet Leo was not afraid. When we use the 3 linking words although, though, and even though, we can move these linking words and the sentence after the linking word to the beginning of the sentence. For example, although it was very dark, Leo was not afraid. When we do so, we must remember to add a comma in between the 2 clauses. Finally, we also learned that one linking word in a sentence is enough. That is why, although it was very dark, but Leo was not afraid is incorrect.
Well done, Turbo Girl.